let's talk about sports in America. With major sporting events happening all throughout the year, sports are a major part of American culture. From the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, the Indy 500, and of course the championships. There's the US Open tennis, the US Open golf, the US Open surfing. Super original names, I know. 3 entirely different organizations, and US Open is all they can come up with. No shade, a little shade. Oh, and I almost forgot Kentucky Derby. But whatever your sports cup of tea is, there is no doubt it's f***ing important. But what sports do Americans love the most? Football. Football. American football. Throwing the old pigskin. Pro football. You've got that now, right? I don't have to keep coming up with ways to say football. But did I miss any? Even though baseball has been around longer and lays claims to the title of America's favorite pastime, football takes the cake and has taken the cake for many years. Professional football dominates in the hearts of Americans, destroying every other sport at any level for the past 30 years. From 1985 to 2015, adults were asked, which sport is your favorite? Here's how football scored. At times, it scored nearly 23% higher than its nearest competitor, baseball. In fact, interest in only 4 sports, ice hockey, car racing, pro football, and men's soccer, has increased since 1985. And over time, interest in baseball, pro basketball, college basketball, horse racing, men's tennis, and bowling have decreased in the last 30 years. Interest in men's college football, men's golf, and track and field have fluctuated a bit over the years, but have largely stayed the same since 1985. Participants were asked, if you had to choose which one of these sports is your favorite. These are the sports participating adults ranked highest in preference over the last 30 years. Let's examine each one of these 4 more closely, starting with football. Now here's where it gets interesting. Research found that almost 50% of adults with household incomes between $75,000 and $100,000 voted for football, whereas only 21% of adults with household incomes above $100,000 voted in favor of pro ball. Baseball. Geographically, East Coasters preferred baseball, with 24% voting for the sport, and only 10% of Midwesterners chose America's pastime. For those who peaked during college or just can't seem to want to move on from the good old college days, well, there's always college football. Gen Xers is what they're called, aged 36 to 50, ranked the highest in favoring college football with 17%, and adults with household incomes between $35,000 and $50,000 had very little interest in college ball, with only 6% choosing it as their favorite. And finally, of the top 4, auto racing had the least interest overall and mediocre interest at best, even in its highest demographic. Baby boomers aged 51 to 69 and rural Americans enjoy it the most, but with an unimpressive 10% in support. And showing the lowest interest, that would be these guys. Yep, same ones who rank the highest in pro football do not feel the same about auto racing. So, what does this all mean? It's pretty simple, really. Football is the most popular sport in the US. Its professional and collegiate divisions garner millions of fans, and they have done so for years and will likely do so for years to come. But with new studies on head trauma, long-term brain damage, and concussions related to football, do you think the sport's popularity will actually decline in the next 30 years? Stats to stories. Sports, Part 2, coming December 2046.